got the audio levels on my side.
So you can actually see us. Knocking it out of the park on this this stream live reaction. But I mean, it's been a while. Like we haven't done a live reaction in a while, so I guess
That's
it's
true.
all good.
Hey, can you hear us now, Tim?
We are here.
Somebody else in the chat said something. I think it was Lucy. I didn't see the full name.
Yeah, Lucy Rain. What up, y'all? We appreciate y'all popping in for at least a little bit.
We're going live for Xbox. We're preparing to see the games. Three
Oh my God.
Negroes
What is this? Xbox
on a
developer
journey.
Christmas Carol.
A little late for the Christmas carols. Man, you know
No,
what?
it's
Yes, we are. That's the problem. I was just about to
Yes.
say, I think I owe Ty an apology, man.
What's up?
You know what? He was like, winter is trash. And I'm like, technically, it's winter now. Like, winter just started not that long ago.
Mhm.
And it's winter that's trash because, like, this shit out here where we can't go nowhere. And if you try, you, like, risking your life. That shit trash. Fall, that's the season that I fuck with. October, November, December. This nonsense is awful.
I respect that decision. I'll cut you off when you're wrong, but you ain't been wrong yet.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, you just mentioned those three games. I think I saw somebody else say they were hyped about Wonder Woman, and I thought about. I'm like, man, we hadn't seen nothing on that. But what, a logo?
Yes,
Yeah.
just the logo. We've hit the point now with Wonder Woman where I'm like positive, like 100% certain that it's going to be like we'll see it this year, probably this summer.
Yeah.
Like it's beyond the point where I'm like when we do our predictions inevitably for like the June showcases or whatever, which I'm gonna ask y'all a little bit about that at the end of the show. But like when we do our predictions for the June showcase, at that point I'm gonna just be like, hey man, it's gonna be there, period. Like I'm not even wondering. Like the last year when I said it, I kept predicting it, but it was really more like a fingers crossed. But like at this point, if it's not ready and it's not showing up by like really by June, but definitely by December, if it's not here, that game, it's something wrong with it. And they can't figure it out. Because there's no reason, like, y'all have been working on something since 2018. It's 2024. Like, get it together. Star Wars Eclipse, I know that game is screwed. Like, completely. It's wrecked.
Yeah.
Because I heard that the studio is having problems behind the scenes and whatnot. I don't know where they stand with it exactly, but I know it's not great.
Tim said, I'm trying to spar and mud wrestle with the Amazons.
I don't want to do. I am trying to spar with the Amazons. I don't know about no mud wrestling. Seems
Hold on.
grimy. Seems like
Let
a
him
different
cook.
game. Absolutely not. It's supposed to be rated E. These hands supposed to be rated E for everybody.
To be fair, the Amazonians in that universe are all related, right? They're like sisters. Well, they call each other sisters. Like it's like a family kind of relationship.
Sisters, but that's not. That's just like, you know, I call y'all my brothers, but we not, you know. Now, granted, in this instance of like what he's trying to relate it to, we're not doing that either. But like, it's not blood relatives. They just like they see each other like a collective, which is a good way to view like life, I think. Somehow this got oddly like introverted or introspective. I feel like we were supposed to be doing something related to like reactions.
Gaming.
Let's run that back though, because everybody.
It's a complete circle.
Everybody can hear us now, so it's all good. But yeah, what's up, YouTube? It's 3/5 of No Level Cap podcast. You know, we not at full strength, but we still popping up in this bitch. It's me, Sage Ashford. It's Rakeem Beck. It's Devin Butts. We in here. We're gonna give a look at the Xbox Developer Direct. We're gonna react to all the games here. Vowed, Aura History Untold, Indiana Jones, Hellblade 2, and I hope to check out a couple of other trailers, including Elder Scrolls Online's new expansion, Gold Road. But first, let me take the temperature a bit. Rakeem, how are you doing?
It's cold. It's very cold. It's damn cold. all week. Snow, ice, sliding, sliding.
Bill.
It's been rough. I've had to work this week, ironically, even though we've had this bad weather. So I've been Ubering to work because I'm not putting my car out there. I'm not doing it. I said if we're gonna be on the side of the road, I help them pay for the tow truck, but it ain't gonna be my car in the ditch. But yeah, other than that, it's been okay. Hopefully I want to go to work tomorrow. I've been raining tonight. But I am kind of excited to see what kind of these developments of these games. Xbox has kind of a lot to live up to after all the acquisitions they had in like the previous years, and they've shown spurts of trailers of games before, like Avowed in previous events. So I'm looking. Yeah, Gotham. Yeah, that was another game I really wanted to see. So I'm actually excited to see what they have coming, and what's probably going to be coming to Game Pass as well. So I'm excited for tonight.
I agree. Devin, what about you? How you doing, bro?
Pretty good. I'm pretty much in the same realm. I actually just thought about last year we had to develop. Wasn't that the first developer direct last year?
That was the first developer direct. You did not like it very much. I recall.
It was. I feel like it was a lot of that. People kind of saying it was a kind of, it was like, okay, Horizon, Starfield was like the biggest thing because at the time that was the game that was, supposed to shape the landscape of gaming. But yeah, I like I said, Hellblade is what I want to see most. Actually, kind of curious about the Indiana Jones game because I really hadn't read much about that or like looked up much about that game. Can't remember the last time we had an Indiana Jones game that I can remember. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I remember there's one on Atari.
Right. I think you're back in that retro, like real retro era.
Yeah.
I think you back there. So I don't know when the last like.
If I had to put money on, they probably had like some PS2 game, like a movie tie-in game. Just some off the rip game. There was the Indiana Jones game, but nothing like probably of like high quality AAA. So, but yeah, man, I'm really excited to see something about Hellblade. Because again, like I said, that game kind of went dark for a little bit. And we saw some more over the Game Awards. So, yeah, I'm ready to see what this direct has, man.
All right, man. Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it.
Feel like MJF.
This man says like Hulk Hogan calls you. Oh, boy.
Damn, they making it so serious.
I know, right? The slow walk, the wave. Y'all don't work in the same building. Stop lying.
They don't work in the same building. Devin, did you catch that?
Yeah, I did it already with the broadcast. I'll change it on mine here.
Ninja Theory.
Starting with a
Always
vowel.
down.
Okay.
Welcome to Obsidian Entertainment. I'm so proud to share with you our upcoming fantasy action RPG, Avowed. Avowed is an adventure into the heart of the Living Lands, a frontier at the edge of the known world, where you must put a stop to a mysterious spiritual plague and discover a secret at the heart of the Living Lands.
I love the
At
biomes that we
Obsidian,
get a look at.
We love creating worlds with deep themes, dynamic gameplay, and thoughtful reactivity. And Avowed is no different.
Always
We
wanted to
set
try
out
the Outer
create
Worlds.
Believable and fantastical to give players a
I
world and
think
experience
Epic had it
like
for
no
free
other.
at one point.
It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's strange. It's one of the most incredible settings in the world of Aora. There's going to be a lot of great secrets to discover, one of which has a really personal connection to you as the player character, and you're going to have a great time getting to know those secrets and leaving your mark on the world. And when it comes to encounters, Our combat brings the best of the moment-to-moment fun that comes with
Okay,
action-oriented
it's a parry
gameplay
system.
and the depth and breadth of choice that you get with
Dual wielding
RPG.
spells like Skyrim. Interesting.
Here to talk more about Avowed's combat is Gabriel Paramo, gameplay director.
Here at Obsidian, our team's overarching goal is to empower you with choice. So we developed a flexible combat system that allows you to quickly swap from spellcasting and sharpshooting to melee combat. We want to give you the freedom to mix and match your loadout to fit the way you want to play from moment to moment, uninterrupted. For all battles, you can combine a variety of weapons, attacks, and abilities for tactical advantages against a wide range of enemy types.
He shrink that guy, or he
It's
just
not
kill
just
him?
hacking and slashing. You're making
I'd have to
real-time
look back
decisions
at it.
about when to use your
I hit him with some
abilities,
light.
powerful
Ooh.
melee attacks, blocks, parries, and special attacks.
Okay, that
If
was
you
kind
choose
of
to
cool.
approach combat with a one-handed wand, it feels quick and snappy when dealing damage to enemies at mid-range. Using the Tanglefoot ability, you can stop enemies in their tracks, giving you the opportunity to focus on weaker or
Kinda like a
tougher
druid
opponents in
spell.
an intentional and controlled manner. It's important to pay attention to the types of enemies you're dealing with. Some units are extremely defensive, some are brutishly difficult, and others you must make sure you prioritize, or their healing capabilities will put you in a tough spot. To help with the different encounters you will face,
Since you,
we provide customizable
message on
loadouts
Discord.
that can be quickly switched during combat.
Sage.
That means you can play however you want. Equip a sword and shield and charge into battle. Dual wield pistols and control the encounter mid-range.
Got that pistol on him.
Or even dual wield wands to feel like a gunslinging mage. You could use your enchanted wand to freeze enemies and then use your offhand weapon's power attack to shatter them.
Okay, now that I
We've
really
worked
mess
hard
with.
to keep you constantly engaged.
Combos
as
look
battles
cool.
unfold by creating a
Combat
balance
actually looks
between
kinda tight.
pressure and manageability during combat.
Players will have ample choices for how to build and progress their envoy in the world of the Living Lands as they get to know the game and the story and explore the many diverse regions. Some quests in Avowed will have you make difficult decisions with profound consequences, like this side quest you may encounter in Shatterscarp, the third region you'll explore on your journey through the Living Lands. As you're exploring, you come across the bodies of these fallen soldiers, and as you explore the remains of the battle, it's up to you to determine
like Amalur.
who, if anyone, is at
Every
fault.
quest, somebody was dead.
Just the four of us. Manu, Kiri, Naoki, and me. Training under Captain Ruiki. Trying to keep Thirdborn safe.
In other words, you're a gang of vigilantes. Not that I'm one to judge.
Here. Take my badge. Take everyone's. Our families deserve to know we fought and died for them.
Making the right choice isn't
This
always
is
what it
with a
seems.
tad like Baldur's
We
Gate.
embrace moral nuance and gray areas, trusting players to make
see
tough
something like that.
decisions in complicated situations.
My squad and I rested in the cave by the water last night, and as we were
Ah,
sleeping,
here we
were
go with that
ambushed by those
Killmonger
miserable
again.
Zorops. I was so
Even the
surprised.
monsters, even the species
It's
can't
so
afford
dark.
it.
Yeah.
Just got separated from everyone else. Look, I can't face
You know, at
these
first,
monsters alone.
it didn't bother
But I
me,
have
but
to believe
now
everyone else made it out.
I'm.
Of course he did.
It's
Sergeant Sweet never
not.
has the
It's
right
not.
to
It's
leave on
impossible not to notice now.
So what did he tell you? That Captain
It's
Ruiki
just
was sick?
everywhere. It's
That I
so
was
hard to get
paranoid?
away from
That I
now.
was a dumb baby? I heard it all often and loudly.
But I was a dumb
If you
baby.
found Sergeant Usui, why is he not here with you? What happened?
At the end of the quest, you have a choice. When you
Did he
confront
go?
Private Naoki, if you believe the story he's told you, you can hand over the badges and let him go back home.
You're right. Real battle isn't something you can.
No, it's
prepare for.
Killmonger and Miles
It's not my
Morales.
fault. No, they should have never have camped in the cave. I'll take the badges. I'm going back to Thirdborn.
But if you confront him, if you believe that he fled the site of the battle as an act of cowardice, then he might challenge you to a fight to reclaim his honor. Either way, when you return to town, you'll see the consequences of your actions and the choices you made during this quest. Creating an immersive experience like Avowed is anchored in the world we build.
I
Art
do like
director
that
Matt
you
Hansen
see a lot of
and the team
RPGs
have
now are
worked
trying to
create a
push
unique,
the choice-driven
colorful,
narrative
and
stuff.
dynamic visual style.
It does make it more dynamic and
We knew
interesting.
that we wanted Avowed
Makes
to
conversations about it
feel
too
rich,
cool too.
weird, and wonderful. We found inspiration
It's kind
in
of
a
they're trying to
wide
go back to
swath
what
of real-world
Fable kind of
cultures,
started
helping
for a
us
while.
create a unique RPG experience. By
feel like kinda got
contrasting
lost
the
over
vibrant
time.
with the dull.
Feels a
or
little more
verdant
like
spaces with
all those
simply
old
wood,
school
we can better
isometric
deliver
RPGs, like the
complex
original Baldur's
emotional
Gate games.
experiences
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
for our
yeah.
players. The Living Lands is a continent of untamed valleys with widely varied biomes, from luxuriant forests to volcanic wastes. And each of those regions itself is a conflux of storied landscapes.
I know this guy has a hoop
All
at the
of
D&D
regions
games.
have a lot of special things associated with them, but I have a deep
These
place
environments
in my heart
are
for
great, though.
Shatterscarp. As you're wandering the wastes of Shatterscarp, you might notice off in the distance a vibrant jewel of color. By transitioning from destitute, muted tones of a wasteland of sand and marching in towards a beautiful oasis, there's the opportunity there for life, for adventure, and even a little danger.
We hope you've enjoyed this look at Avowed. We're thrilled to share more about the game in the coming months, and we can't wait for you to explore the Living Lands when Avowed launches this fall.
We got guns.
It's interesting they keep showing those same enemies. It makes me think they're trying to hide as much as possible.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, I'll take the blue.
I noticed that when they showed that quest up, but they didn't show the result of it. I was like, oh, I actually appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of developers will show you the entire quest line.
Then you
and
come
some
in
of
there, it's
those.
like you already got a strategy guide to it.
Yeah.
Fall's a good time for this.
Yeah, I think the later half of the year is probably a good time to put a lot of games out.
Ain't no Elder Scrolls, so I mean, you know, gotta have something. All right, what you got next on us?
Oxide Studio, I'm not familiar with them.
They're the ones doing Aura History Untold. It's
Okay.
like a 4X game.
The Ninja House.
Hi, I'm Don Matthews, studio head here at Ninja Theory in Cambridge, UK. We're now in the final months of development on Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, and the team is working hard to bring you an unforgettable journey into Senua's unique world and her battle for survival, where we have once again
Like old boy
combined
from
high-fidelity
Jujutsu Kaisen,
and
ain't with all the
immersive
hands.
presentation with a shorter, narrative
Look like the dude, the villain from My Hero.
on the things that
That's
we
what I was
really
thinking
care
about,
about,
too.
That too.
and that we hope you care
Look
about
like
too.
Robin from One Piece.
But like Senua's sacrifice.
Senua's back with a new quest.
That was first
She wants
game.
to stop the Vikings who raided her village right at their source, in Iceland. But not just her quest has changed. Senua herself has grown since the first Hellblade. She's made peace with her past and is no longer in such fear of her visions and voices. While the Furies are still her constant companions, she encounters new people along the way, some of which will value her unique perspective, and others who will reject it.
Little by little, this settlement became my tribe.
In the game, Senua arrives in 10th century Iceland on the trail of the Vikings who have been enslaving her people. In the story, we're trying to be as faithful to history as we can up to a point, establishing a solid framework and then building more surreal elements on top. Senua will face up to giants who have plunged the land into chaos, and which in turn has seen the rise of the Droiga, a violent threat that has swept through the settlements that she'll discover.
The first game was actually on
will
sale
make
on Steam
new
right now for
enemies
like $2.99.
and also new allies who will
Always a good
constitute her
strategy.
unique perspective as a beacon of hope. And she'll discover along with us how this viewpoint can have its advantages.
It's crazy the shift that
Senua is a
Ninja Theory
Celtic
has
warrior who
experienced.
experiences psychosis.
Yeah.
Seeing
They were
things
doing
that
like
other
Heavenly
people don't,
Blade and the
hearing
DMC
voices,
remake,
having
and now
Super
beliefs about the
action
world
heavy
around them.
games,
To bring
but now
Senua's
more
perspective of
narrative,
life in a truthful way, we are
more
once again
cerebral
working
type
with
games.
Professor Paul
Character
Fletcher
driven.
at the University
Yeah.
of Cambridge, as well as people with lived experience of psychosis.
Man, I really hope, wishing they would have made a Heavenly Sword too, man.
It's terrifying.
Players will find themselves traversing beautiful and hostile environments, seeking answers from patterns and signs that Senua sees in her own unique way, and battling through encounters with enemies that will push Senua to her limits.
Okay.
There's a lot going on here.
On On Saga, we've taken everything to the next level. With a new
I see how she won that job. That woman has the most emotive
stunt crew and
face.
a new cast.
We spent a lot of time planning the motion capture shoots.
She tells a
of
whole story without
mocap.
saying a word.
She doing that mocap work
bring
for
into
real,
this
for real.
fight. Like, how can we make this fight feel different from the previous fight? We have all new combat for the sequel. One of our key
Second there, I didn't
goals
realize
was
that's the game.
ability to actually tell a
Yeah, I
story.
was like, wait a minute. It's combat.
That's the, yeah,
It
that's
does feel
combat.
Very different from the first game, but it's very brutal and you're very invested in it. Senua isn't a superhero. She's fighting for survival, and we want the player to feel her
My
struggle
back.
in every step of her
Unless you're
journey.
trying to fight Titans, get them in
We
the
want
name.
the player to always feel like they just scraped through, just survived it.
Mel knows Senua better than anyone, better than I do. Her instincts are amazing, and she really doesn't need much help from me. On stage, our main focus is storytelling. So I get to watch the actors and see all the beautiful expressions on their faces, and then I have to wait a little while, and then I get to see that all again in-game, in costume, on location, everything. It's a great experience, a great process.
Every discipline in the studio is unified in achieving a deep level of immersion to help suspend your disbelief and pull you into Senua's story. We were lucky enough to do a few reference gathering trips in Iceland. You have to be there. The sense of scale, everything is incredible. And you see a scene or you see a small section of the game and you're like, yeah, that works, that's amazing.
Yo, it's so freaky to have that sound in like headphones.
A part of this
Yeah.
manifests in the voices he hears. These voices come to life through binaural audio, which provides a good representation of this type of auditory hallucination.
You should definitely play this with headphones.
Immersion, binaural audio
I should
is
definitely
perfect
not
for
play
this
this
because
with
through
headphones.
You
headphones,
should definitely play this with headphones, bro.
surround yourself
Gotta
in a
get immersed, man.
three-dimensional
Gotta get off
space.
in there.
In the first
This is a game that's saying you need to be
voices
immersed.
that Senua listens in her head. In this
I'm
game,
about to turn it
through
off.
special audio technology
Don't worry, I'm
and,
starting to play that Randy
songs
Orton
that
theme, man.
plays within the game,
Oh, you hear voices
there is
in the
music.
night?
Hear voices in my head.
Every single sound has the
They
texture
talk
of
to you, they
binaural, so
understand.
I understand they talk to me. Even Devin know that song.
around you, and it's a very beautiful experience.
From out of nowhere.
Music is a strange language in the sense that it speaks to our emotions fast and deep. It's not only about quality, it's about personality. So when you listen to Hellblade, you know it's Hellblade.
Mm.
Man, get
On the
down on
music,
that
we are
piano. He
working
feeling
with
it himself.
Highland, which for me is a personal privilege because I really
That man was getting. That man was getting. He started doing one hand. You know they killing him to do one hand on
their
you.
craft, their depth, their meaning in the music. It really connects with her game and elevates it to something.
Man, being a
special.
composer is such a
We are
cool
also
job.
Working with a heavy metal singer, throat
I mean, you
singers,
basically
and our very own
creating
purists.
a
They
large
sing
part of
so
the feel of
beautiful,
an individual
and
game.
We add that binaural
Mhm.
touch of music, so this all creates a very immersive and
Oh,
a
that's
very
pretty
special
great.
and unique experience.
Doing the voices, walking around the mic.
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech. And that's our aim in Senua's Saga.
Bro, like no way I'm dark.
Hellblade 2 is to not only see where Senua goes next,
You know I ain't
but
lying.
to deliver something really
Talking about 'cause of the hair?
meaningful for our
You
players.
just look like the way I'm
My
dark.
hope is that they will really connect to Senua as a character, and even if they can't really relate to what she's going through, maybe they know someone that
She didn't play this
relates to
character too well. As soon as I saw her, I was like, they got a live action version of Senua?
Well, I don't want to sound cheesy, but in a way I'm Senua, right? She exists and doesn't. It exists through all of our work, through every ninja. So we all are Senua.
Do y'all
and
call yourselves
We are
ninjas?
creating this character that grows and grows.
Then
and grows
again,
and grows and
they call the
growing and
building the
changing.
Ninja House. So
So
They take that
that
seriously,
makes
bro.
it real.
I'm so proud of the love, care, and passion.
They
our
make
team
good
here at Ninja
games though,
Theory
so I
brings
gotta
to
respect this
Senua's Saga
studio, man.
Hellblade 2.
absolutely.
Our hope
They make
is
a
to
lot
not
of good
only create
games, especially back in the day, but like
great story,
underrated, like
but to craft an
consistently for a while.
experience that leaves you thinking and feeling. From our combat gameplay through to our action set pieces, from our cinematic scenes to our puzzle solving, everything is crafted in service of Senua's journey. A journey that you can embark on May 21st.
Okay, so this is like the early part of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I better go ahead and play the first one then.
It's only $2.99. You probably get done before May.
it's not a long game for sure. So
Right.
I heard this was gonna be digital only and available like for $50. So
There's a lot more games that are digital only.
what's this? Oh, Visions
they
of
still-
Mana.
Hold on now. Oh, we got. Oh. Hold on now. We had it. Let me.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
What's really good though?
Fans, if you know, we're all big JRPG fans, so this steps up in total pole for us real quick.
I mean, definitely.
Until it's gonna be on Game Pass.
It's gonna be it's gonna be on Game Pass.
My name is Masaru Oyamada, producer for the Mana series here at Square Enix. 聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナの情報を Xbox ユーザーの皆さんにいち早くお伝えできる機会をいただけて大変光栄です。コンソールゲームとしては約17年ぶりとなる聖剣伝説シリーズの完全新作。
God
聖剣
dang,
伝
that's
説
a
シリ
long
ーズは
time.
1991年に
How long did he say? 15 years?
として誕生して以降
First console game in 15 years.
It's been a long time.
個性豊かなキャラクターたち。心に響く楽曲の数
I never thought this franchise was coming back. I'll be honest.
戦うアクション RPG として
I mean, they did the remake not that long ago.
I'm talking about before the remake started getting made. Like when I was like back in the day.
本作
I didn't think this franchise was coming back.
の歴史あるシリーズの最新作となるため、これまで培われてきた聖剣伝説としての世界をしっかり感じられるものを目指して
Square dropped some new franchise. Like, let's go back to our old stuff.
フィールドでは自然や生
I mean,
霊とのつながりを
these
感
have
じられ
like
る
a fan base
色彩
already.
豊かな
So
聖剣伝説の世界を体験してもらえ
Oh
ると思い
man.
ます。
like that air dash.
シリーズを
Oh,
始め
yeah.
るモンスターたちも本作に登場してい
Like
ます
that fire spell. Oh yeah. I like the vibe of this game too.
今回これらのおな
It's
じみのモン
very
スターたちを
Mana-y.
作り出した
So I
聖
mean,
剣
I'm
伝
with
説
it.
の生みの親である石井浩一さんとともに聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナの内容を紹介していきたいと思
Bro,
いま
what
す
the?
Hello, I am Koichi Ishii from Gretz. I am so happy
He got that
Like
shit
a-
on though.
the
He
new
do,
Gretz
man.
game
Like-
in the Mana series
like
to
Wesker.
Xbox players. 初期の頃からシリーズ作品に登場しているモンスターたちは私が考案したものですが、
water supply, man.
中には小学生の頃すでにイメージができていたものもあります。今作では初めは
Bro, look like instead of an old Sentai hero, he a retired Sentai
ど
villain.
のような形で最新化して聖剣伝説ビ
Actually,
ジョンズ・オ
just
ブ・
like
マナに
Final Fantasy
落とし込む
15
か、
character, what he look like.
デザインの方向性からモデルの
Actually, he
完
kind
成
of
イ
looked
メージ
like
まで
a
を
Sentai hero that would be like the Sixth
プロジェ
Ranger.
クトに参加しました。
Mm.
All right, that was
Oh,
cool.
that's pretty cool.
聖剣伝説ファイナルファンタジー外伝を作っていた頃から自分の頭の中ではモンスターたちは立体的に生き生きと動いてこれまで自分が携わった作品ではそれらをどうやって当時の技術で表現できるかにこだわって作ってきました。
Radish.
最新作では聖剣伝説のモンスターたちのただ可愛いだけではなく恐ろしさの部分もしっかりと表現できているのでバトル中はモンスターたちの表情にも注目してください。
This is going for a very different feel than Trials of Mana did with the combat.
I'm digging the elemental abilities you got though.
That's really cool.
本作には広大なフィールド探検に欠かせな
Like
い
they
新たな
dipped
仲
off
間が
into
登
the
場しま
Kingdom
す。
Hearts bag full of dudes
陸上
combat.
モンスターフィールドで関わ
Kinda,
っ
yeah.
てくれるピックル。
Those
Oh, you
man,
got
that looks
like a-
beautiful.
が新たに考案してくださっています。
That looks really cool.
新たな仲間を考えるにあたっては
I ain't fighting.
今
Get out
作
the
のマ
way.
スコットキャラクターになるくらい可愛い動物にしたいという漠然とした思いがありました。その上でヨークシャテリアの毛並み、見た目はアルマジルによく似た仙山港や古代エジプト神のアヌビスの子供といった具体的なイメージが浮かんできて、それぞれの特徴を取り入れながらラフデザインを書き起こしました。デザイナーにも
Oh, he
アイデアを
killed
出して
that.
もらいながら足の長さや丸まった時のイメージなどゲームの中での見え方も考えながら調整を重ねていきピックルは誕生しました。
もう一つの挑戦は楽曲面です。過去さまざまなコンポーザーが携わられた楽曲の雰囲気が感じられつつも最新作として素晴らしい新たな楽曲が生まれました。 BGM でもしっかり聖剣伝説シリーズらしさを感じてもらえると思います。 過去シリーズの楽曲を手掛けたクリエイターたちが全100曲という大ボリュームの制作に挑んでくれました。
100 songs. Wow.
新たな試みとしてフィールドの探索からバトルまでをシームレスに体験できるよう
It's crazy. This is coming out this year, right?
ミュージックを導入しており、
As far as I know, yeah.
冒険の没入感を高めてくれます。探索中の BGM がバトルに入った瞬間、アレンジが切り替わる様を実際に
Man,
聞
I
いて
love
み
what
まし
they
ょ
did
う。
with Trials of Mana. They had like the new rendition arrangement, and they had the old school. I was like, that was so far. You just changed it to the menu.
Oh, that looks cool. He's got jump canceling, dash canceling, charge attacks.
Yo, I'm loving the magic in this
聖剣
game.
伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。
Once again, this year is just
空
all
中でのアクショ
JRPGs
ン
to
が
me.
バトルの鍵となっており、
This kind of is. This feel like
魔法での攻撃も可能になる
JRPG's revenges, man. Y'all said we were gone, huh? We got something for that. We got something for that.
All those who must have forgot.
その力を宿した武器を使うとバトルを
My name is
手
Ho.
助けしてくれるようになります。
Yeah, this is really cool.
Are you with me?
Say yeah. I was watching Kirk Franklin's interview with Shannon Sharp today.
Oh wow.
オリジナルモンスターやピックリにも注目してほしいのですが、聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナは聖剣伝説らしさを
What's crazy is that there seems to be like a party to this game, and we didn't see none of that. So it's still like there's stuff they keeping
頑張っ
from
て
us.
作ってくれていますので、
I like
ぜ
that.
ひ発売日を楽しみに待っていてください。私自身もプレイするのを楽しみにしています。
聖剣伝説シリーズとして初めて Xbox ユーザーの皆さんにお届けする本作聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナは今後も様々な情報をお届けしていきますのでぜひご期待ください。この夏この忘れられない冒険を Xbox ユーザーの皆さんに楽しんでいただける日が
Even Xbox noticed like, yo, there's a lot of JRPGs coming out this year. Let's go ahead and snag one for the Yeah, that was smart.
Summer? Okay,
It's-
that's a good time period. I mean, hopefully, well, it's going to collide with Daybreak, which I'm going to definitely play that over this. But hopefully this comes out before Daybreak.
Yeah. Shout out to Visions of Mana.
Yeah, shout out to the Mana series in general. I'm happy for them.
We get a new Mana game and a new Saga game this year.
In the same
That's
year.
And a Final Fantasy game. That's
Hello.
Again,
and welcome
you
to
can't
Offside
ask for
Games.
much more as a JRPG fan.
We founded the studio in 2013.
Getting a
with our
Persona
decades of
remake.
personal experience building some
and
of
we
the
getting the
most beloved
Suikoden
strategy games
successor.
of all time, like
New
Civilization
Trails
5.
game.
We came together to
And a
create
Yakuza
something
game.
new and innovative in a genre
Everything,
we
bro.
all love.
God damn.
Metaphor.
Our History Untold is the game.
Metaphor.
Oh, yeah, I
yep.
forgot about Metaphor Refin
New
Tazi.
IP. Yep.
A new Atlas IP.
Historical gamers,
And
strategy
Unicorn
gamers,
Overlord.
4X gamers.
Strategy
It
RPG.
features all the depth and gameplay fans of this genre love, where you'll explore the world, expand your nation,
All right.
govern your people, and engage with your
We
rivals
play,
on the international
ladies and gentlemen, we
stage.
playing this
But it
off
isn't just
stream.
more of the same. With Ara, we wanted to challenge some of the preconceived
loads
notions
of
about
hours
the
on
genre,
this off
push it forward in
Off
a modern,
stream.
empowering, and truly compelling and approachable way.
For example, we have over 100 instruments on display in the office, which are
Mm.
all things that we purchased in order to add to the soundtrack and expand the game and make it really good.
You're fired. Get out.
Hi, Dan.
Hmm?
That's Dan. We started in his basement.
Oh, never mind.
It's
That's why
been
they
an amazing
could say
process
that
to
name.
see from concept to completion. We started small, building a robust game engine.
There are a lot of studios that started very small.
prototyping out features.
Supergiant started in the creators, his parents' house.
Dang.
Historical grand strategy
Yeah.
game that presents a living world where you can rule how you want to rule and chart your own path to becoming the most prestigious nation on the planet.
For Ara, we knew we needed deep systems with outcomes that encourage exploration and give players the power to experiment and make meaningful strategic choices
Yeah.
while still having agency over their playstyle.
Yeah,
We also
agency.
wanted to explore
All the
more in
buzzwords.
different parts of history and give players from around the world the chance to see the game reflect their unique perspective and not just
Yeah,
ours.
Nefertiti.
And finally, we knew that for
And they going
players to
across
feel the impact
the
of their
whole
decisions,
world in
they
different,
need to see
eras
their
and
choices
shit.
reflected in the game world
Yeah,
itself.
Man got the
it's
old
like
man.
Age of Empires a little bit, huh?
They man got the old man Riz, man. He got the Johnny Bravo here, man.
is what we call the Living World. It's a procedurally generated alternate Earth, bursting with life, an intuitive, authentic, and immersive space, a blank canvas for players to paint the society of their dreams.
The Living World
I think it's a 4X game
reflects the choices players make
I've
over the
ever
course of the
enjoyed.
game. They can see everything
There aren't
from
many
the
I've
settling
played.
of the wilderness to cultural influence on architecture over time to the thousands of citizens living their lives and reacting to the changes.
Modern era.
We want
I had a
players to
coworker
feel
on my
like
job. This type of games he loved.
leading their people as
Hey,
a
this
Absolutely
vibe, like,
adored these games.
If people like this, it's extremely like every
want
person
to
that's a
win.
4X fan,
And no
it's
feature
extremely
better
their shit.
exemplifies this than the
Yeah.
prestige system.
To win a game of Ara, players will
Prestige.
compete with their rivals
Playing
to
Call
build
of
the most
Duty.
influential, impressive, and important nation the world
No
has ever
talking.
known. This is measured by
We gonna
prestige,
rule,
the
then
player's score
erase
that
it, then
proves
rule
their worth
again?
as a leader.
I guess John D'Arc
The
had to do
prestige
it to him.
system gives players the chance to decide
showed
what
that
kind
bit.
of leader they want to be.
I mean, you know how it is for her, so
Yeah.
she might as well.
Scientific advancement.
What the
The
fuck?
choice is theirs.
I got Gundams?
In Ara, there are no
Where the giant robots come from?
You should have started with that.
Decide what is most important. to
You
them
should have.
And focus and prioritize on those goals while still being able to win the game.
Personally, when I play Ara, I like to build triumphs. Triumphs are our collection of incredible monuments and architectural achievements from throughout human history. Like the Great Pyramid of Giza. They're hard to build, but worth it, giving huge prestige bonuses and game-changing abilities to the nation that constructs them.
Another aspect of Ara that I'm personally excited about is our crafting system.
The crafting system offers a unique challenge to the player that they generally won't see often in the 4X genre. Succeeding at balancing, gathering the right things, turning them into the tools that you need, and then finally getting to the outcome or reward of something like an important improvement or triumph just changes the challenge that exists in Ara compared to other 4X games.
Crafting plays out in Ara at a national scale, with players honing and combining the natural resources they harvest into all manner of goods and components. Those are the foundation for everything, from international trade to improving their cities and citizens' lives, and even manufacturing the weapons necessary to draft military units. The crafting system in Ara encourages thoughtful, advanced planning. It rewards players who can see the strategic outcome of all their collective decisions, and not just the individual ones.
Like she talking hard as hell, and then one dude in the back just staring at the screen like, I don't give a damn about none of this.
Many strategy games have players
Hey, man.
reacting to their opponents'
You working on this other
moves.
shit,
In
bro.
Ara, all players' actions are resolved.
I help you.
This rewards players' ability to navigate.
Hey man, he at work, man. You know how it is sometimes.
strategically plan
I'm just
for
ready to get
multiple
off.
Scenarios in the moment.
That's
This
true. I don't
system
care what
makes
job
Ara
it is.
Just feel more real. In a typical strategy game, once your turn is finished, you have to wait for a long time. With simultaneous turns, generally speaking, those times are very low. You get to keep playing the game and stay engaged.
Wait,
rather than having those
simultaneous
periods of
turns?
downtime where you're not doing anything.
Yeah, that's a thing in a lot of strategy games.
Are you
all
fighting
of
with
history
people during
and
it?
picking what to include. For Ara, we wanted to
I'm
offer a
assuming
fresh
if it's
perspective
single
so we
player
cultures and
with other
societies
nations
throughout the
also
land.
doing their own stuff and like competing for resources and stuff like that.
Is in our
Okay.
leaders. Leaders are so often seen as military personnel or prominent government figures, but leaders come in so many different forms. They're thought leaders, scientific and cultural prodigies, and many more.
Each leader in Ara has a number of special abilities determined by their personality traits, as well as a powerful
characters on the
unique leader
screen for a
trait
fighting game.
informed by their
Like-
contributions to world history.
With a diverse
I'ma be honest
global
with you.
roster, we know players
I
will
ain't
find
smart enough for
leaders
this
that they
shit.
will want to play.
It's
And
too
even
much
Yes, you
going
are.
on.
surprise them with how
I
fun
can't
it
keep
is when
up.
those leaders are
Hey,
handed
look.
the reins of power.
That's fair.
For us at Oxide,
Hey, man, if you keep up with
playing that
Suicode
is
and you
the
keep up
only
with
way
this.
to really understand what you're
That's just a
making.
few characters.
It gives us
What the
that
fuck?
priceless
100.
perspective from the people we're making.
Hold on.
And 50.
You.
Why does she have a hammock
Building
down
the
there?
game alongside real players has given us that critical
You
player
know why.
feedback. In the end,
To
we
sleep.
believe this makes for a
'Cause
deeper
they're a family.
connection between the players and
Oh
the game.
Lord.
One of my
Not at
favorite
the job.
examples
Go
is when we
home.
first introduced the
Your
concept of
family at
dangerous
home.
wildlife to the game. It turns out, in our
No, my
first
family here, I brought her with me.
maybe a little bit too
Oh,
aggressive or disruptive.
they in hammocks too.
We knew we should probably make a change when one of our insiders made a forum post that was just
Cougars, cougars.
Cougars, I hate cougars!
someone get these feline demons away from me.
Said no man ever.
I'm happy to report, based on more recent feedback, that I think we ended up in a good
I think they
place
talking about
with the
in-game
overall threat
cougars,
level
but I
of mountain
yeah, I
lions
understand where
to
you're coming
players'
from.
citizenry.
You know what?
Unless it's not
I
your
understand where that
years of
insider
hard work
coming
to
from
bring
too,
the strategy
because
experience
I
that we
remember in
know
Red
of.
Dead, I used to like run into
We're so
cougars and they
excited
just be a
that we can
pain in the
finally
ass.
see the finish line.
Oh yeah, they were hard. Oh, real hard.
Wait for players to get their hands
I ain't
on
gonna
the
lie.
game.
When they be
later
showing
this
these
year.
developer
But the launch
backstage
of Aura
things,
is only the
I always
beginning.
hate the
We are
wacky
going to
shots because I'm
maintain our
like,
insider program
99%
after
of the
release
time
date
you just
and
working.
continue to listen to
You actually
players
just
and
doing
support
work,
the game
and then
into
they'll
the
show
future.
somebody on a
On
bike,
behalf of
on
everyone
a
at
tricycle, a
Oxide Games,
unicycle. Like,
thank
man,
you
you
for
get the
joining
fuck
Nobody's-
out of here. Y'all don't do
No.
To play Aura.
No, of course not.
Create your own history.
Well, there are some companies that are like that. You know, those very Silicon Valley open. They, you know, they the feng shui is different, and they put crazy shit everywhere. There was that one job I worked there.
So long because
Hey,
work
man.
got to be done at your job. I mean,
There was that one job once we had the arcade cabinet. That was a mistake, but we was on that bitch. We was on it, bro.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Indie?
Oh,
Big
I
indie.
get it. He said, I'm doggone Laura Croft and Nathan Drake. Gonna steal my swag bar for bar, word for word? I got something, y'all.
Really excited to finally be able to share our work on Indiana Jones.
I'm gonna show y'all how it's done.
Since the first film came out, Indiana Jones has always represented the ultimate adventure. Even today,
Dr.
it's one of the
Doom?
most iconic franchises
Temple of
in
Doom.
pop culture.
Man, it's Dr.
In this
Doom
game,
Temple, ain't it?
you aren't just playing as Indy, you
Hey, man.
are Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones
You
versus
will
Dr.
see
Doom
through
sound
his
kinda
eyes
lit.
and experience a journey that we hope lives up to the proud legacy.
Don't put the archaeologists digging in the dirt like that, man.
First told us about
Who
the
said he
vision
gonna
for the
lose?
game, we knew he would be a very good fit to help bring it to
Indiana probably say I'm gonna lose. He gonna be complaining the whole time.
Forever, I'd had this idea
16
for what it would be
times
like and the story
Oh, Todd.
what Indy was going after.
Ain't you
what
supposed to be working
period
on
of his
goddamn
life it was in,
Starfield? What the fuck
what
going
kind of
on?
arc he was gonna
He went on a real game.
And as the years went on, I thought, who would be, like, the
That's
best
why the shit
idea
polarized
in
it
the
instead of being
world
considered like a
like
modern
this?
classic.
And it was
Get
my
your ass
friends
back
at
what?
Machine Games.
Hey man,
Man,
he's
but I-
supporting.
Lucasfilm on
I
the
looked
game
up
and
to
being,
Indiana
you know,
Jones,
a
man.
little
If
bit
you don't get the
nervous
fuck out of
because,
here.
Look, it's, you know, Indiana Jones, and
16
their
times.
response was just overwhelmingly positive, and just that excitement. has
Part of me
brought
was
the
like,
whole
Todd, don't
project,
say
and
nothing
they've just been so
crazy.
trusting
Just like
and
dude from No Man's Sky.
that we
Don't
wanted
say
to do.
nothing. Oh, too
It's been
late.
a long time. I've
Too
been a
late.
fan of this my whole life, and I couldn't be more excited to show you what the team here has been up to. Let's take our first look at the new Indiana Jones game.
All right.
Let me
Is this a Bethesda game where you play as Indiana Jones?
Dr. Jones, while you were playing your pointless game, I was playing you. You're wondering if maybe you should have built
I wonder how much like Harrison Ford it looks like.
instead of
From the side, it looks like Henry Ford, man.
Henry Ford is a completely different person. That's,
Nah, that's
all
him.
of it. That's him, bro.
Yeah, okay.
He's still alive. And he had a movie just last year, so
So where we
might
at,
as well
first or
capitalize on
third?
him. Oh, he was a producer on this game.
Shit, it's first.
Yeah, Machine
I was just
Machine
joking
Games.
when I said it's Starfield, but when Indiana Jones, I was just joking.
I don't think it's gonna be that. I think.
I don't think it's gonna be the type of game. This is Machine Games, the guys who made
They made
Wolfenstein.
That's Candyman. I forgot the actor's name. But I'm just saying first. I was not expecting this to be first person.
I mean, if anything, we should be surprised that Blade is third person.
I mean,
Yeah.
both.
Because Arcane doesn't do for third person. They've never done it before.
They don't. Never done it.
Okay, so there are some third person segments. All right.
Got a hammer. The whip.
Throughout history, mankind has built sites of great spiritual significance. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you get a perfectly aligned circle.
Why?
I've had run-ins with these guys before.
Two-fisted. Just hold on.
Trust me,
Did he deflect a bullet with his
it
whip?
ain't a walk in the park.
It's a video game.
What do you mean if I could keep up?
Man, put all his points in the slave master.
And it was highly effective.
Hey, man, what the fuck?
Yo! Oh, you on the play? Okay. Oh my God.
All right, that's cool.
That's cool.
Patron of the fallen angels. Protector of the Chukwunani. The Great Circle.
And the Great Circle.
All right, okay.
You have any idea how old that was?
That's
I
pretty
don't know.
cool.
This looks close to being done.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones is such an iconic character, and he means so much to so many people. Everyone here at the studio has their own indie stories and memories. Most of us grew up with his adventures and have been fans of the movies and the character for years. He's a brilliant archaeologist, he's a charismatic everyman, he's passionate and determined. And for us, he's synonymous with adventure.
Now we have the opportunity to tell a new Indiana Jones story for a modern gaming audience. Our game is all about putting you in Indy's shoes, letting you see and feel what he sees and feels. For us at Machine Games, we do that best through first person. It's the ideal perspective to bring you into the rich, exciting and interactive world we've built. We believe that being up close and personal to the adventure is key, making each action feel like your own.
You're like Layers of Fear right now. This is what it looks like.
Whether it's cracking your whip, solving puzzles in ancient temples, or seeing your knuckles go bloody in a fist fight, all of these moments are much more intense in first person.
Yeah.
But we still want
Y'all
you
just
to have
prefer
those
to do
moments.
first person.
Seeing his iconic silhouette.
It's
with the
okay. There's
hat,
nothing wrong with
the
that.
Whip, and so forth.
There's something wrong for me,
Cutscenes
'cause I ain't buying
and
it.
environmental
But I don't
traversal.
think it's wrong
You
to
pull the
like
camera back
want to
for
do what you're
that
already
person
good
in
at. If CD Projekt Red had done that, they wouldn't have had to do no
Indiana Jones and the
Cyberpunk
Great
2.0.
Circle is set between Raiders
Fair.
of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade.
It's
When our
set back
game
when y'all
begins,
liked Indiana
Indiana
Jones.
is working at Marshall College. He wakes
Later
up in
ones
the
just
middle of
don't
the
hit the
night to the sounds of a break-in and rushes to confront the thief in the college museum. The mysterious
That's a
giant
series that could have
around
used a
himself
reboot, to
what
be honest.
seems to be a historically
That is Candyman.
significant artifact, sparking
Indiana
Indiana's
Jones, you mean?
curiosity.
I think so.
Following the trail,
So the thing about a
Indiana heads
reboot,
to the Vatican,
and I mean,
hoping to
I
learn
agree
why
with you,
this
but like, you know what the
particular
problem
relic was
is.
stolen, and discovers that
You
things
gotta
aren't
replace
what
Harrison
they
Ford.
appear.
Yeah, that's hard.
He starts pulling
That's a good point.
strings of
You gotta
a
find
mystery,
somebody that people
and it
like.
He's an
all
icon in that
unfolds.
role.
He has no choice
Right.
Yeah.
but to see it through to the end, whatever the end may be.
Tom Cruise.
That's why the last one they had like CGI to make him look young.
That's actually one of the few roles he freaking loved to do. He kind of done with Star Wars, which I mean,
Man,
he literally is
that-
done with Star Wars.
Whenever you ask him about Han Solo, he just don't give a damn.
He don't.
As soon as you ask him about Indiana Jones, his face light up like, yeah,
we were making.
yeah, that was my guy.
It wouldn't be Indy if he wasn't using his wits to get through the situation. The most authentic Indiana Jones experience we can make is the one that makes you think first.
Okay, so like a puzzle focus.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Sure, there will be some obstacles.
There
that
ought to
you
be
will
like
easily
some puzzles
overcome
where
with
you
the
like put it
revolver
together
or a gun
wrong and then
taken
you
from a
wind up like
disarmed
having to
guard.
run.
But I think most of the time you'll have
Oh
more
shit, I
fun,
fucked up.
and to be honest,
Somehow you get a giant boulder.
by finding
Yeah.
more clever ways to solve a problem.
So many games copied that.
Always want to be offering more solutions, whether it's
Definitely.
trying a
What's the
different
name of
path
them?
through the
Uncharted.
environment
Copy
to
the
get
fuck out
around
of
the
it.
enemies, observing enemy
Crash
patrols and
Bandicoot
using them
copied
to
it.
your advantage,
I mean,
or using the tools at your disposal, like the whip.
It's like they mix in.
It's an amazing global
Beef
adventure
and,
with action propelling you through your journey.
Talos experiment together.
We have these really diverse environments for you to explore.
that'd be interesting.
Or the Talos
Indy's
principle,
journey
not
will take him
experiment.
to the forgotten
Yeah.
temples of Sukhothai, the pyramids of Egypt, the snow-peaked Himalayas, and beyond.
We look carefully
It's probably gonna be
at
more of a
missions
linear
by
experience
time
than
period the
Thief
game
though, because Thief is
and
kind of
we're trying to
open-ended
make
kind
it
of
as
game.
authentic and
Yeah.
accurate as possible.
We love creating.
This is
rich
probably gonna
narrative
be more like
worlds,
first
and in
person
this game,
Uncharted.
we also had
That-
the goal of
yeah, that's
making
where I
it
get the
feel
vibe of it,
like
which
a
is fine.
cinematic Indiana Jones.
Because I mean, it's based off a movie series, so it should be
One
kind
of
of
the biggest ways to do that is with the
straightforward.
music.
The music gotta be on point.
John Williams is the original composer for the indie films, and we're really lucky to have found Gordy Hub, a composer who's been able to capture Williams' essence with his score for The Great Circle.
So does Lucas Games just publish the games with this IP on it now?
We also
They don't
take
really
a
make
very
games
unique
anymore, right?
approach to things like
It's not really
cinematics.
on them to make
We're
games.
very physical
Yeah.
with our production style.
Although I think
We use a lot
they
of
must
sound
have some
actors.
staff there to like help.
Things like this help us bridge the
Gotta
gap
be.
between making a game and making a movie.
And of course, our characters do a lot to help bring the world to life as well. Next to Indy, Gina is our other main protagonist. Where Indy is pursuing answers just for the sake of curiosity, Gina has a personal stake in getting to the bottom of the core mystery.
Stop.
Gina is an investigative reporter.
You said Gina from Martin.
On this adventure.
Definitely
She's been
not.
tracking a lead for some time, and now she's found an ally in this determined American professor. Their paths are intertwined, and they'll need each other in order to get to the bottom of this
It
mystery.
is.
Okay, then. Let's see if we can keep up.
Fine. What do you mean if I can keep up? We always love our villains and think we might have found our favorite one yet in Emmerich Voss. He's this intensely psychological man. He's obsessed with the human mind and manipulating it.
He's highly intelligent and the perfect foil for Indy. They're both brilliant people, compelled by their passions and obsessions, but driven down wildly different roads.
He creeps up on you and gets under your skin like he gets under Indy's skin. It's captivating.
Dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
One of our mottos for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is...
You remind me of, what's that wrestler name? The dude from Russia.
There are always those moments where he finds himself in the action.
That's been
No,
one
you
of those
had to give
balancing
me more of a
acts
hint
for
than
us,
that, sir.
and we've ended up with
The
this
one who's the
unique
NXT champion right now.
experience that mixes melee combat, stealth, and gunplay.
How you approach any given situation is up to you.
The really, really good wrestler
Sneak around an enemy patrol, or make
took the belt off.
and whack
Ivan.
them on the back of their head. And when you can't use your wits,
Yes.
Ela Dragunov?
it is most iconic.
Ela Dragunov. He remind me a lot of Ela Dragunov.
Just like you see in the movies, one of our goals has been to make the whip as fun
No, it
and
hadn't been that long.
focused as possible. We want it integrated
Oh,
into
you're right,
every
this is gonna
aspect of the
come-
game.
alright.
You can
Yeah,
use it
he
as
beat
a
he beat Carmelo Hayes for.
way around the environment. You can use it as a distraction.
Said Russia, I was about to say Zangief. I was like,
And yes, you
Zangief. I would not forget Zangief's name. I guarantee that.
Can you whip somebody in
and
the
hopefully
nuts?
a little bit more.
You know what? I bet you can, and I
Puzzles are
bet you
a
get a
key
trophy
feature
for it.
in our game. The spirit of discovery is so important to Indiana Jones. Obviously, there are a handful of puzzles on the main path, but a lot of the puzzles are optional and are just there for the players who want to experience them. Epic traps, small secrets, and hidden puzzles that blend right in with their surroundings.
Oh, that's
One
cool.
thing I love about our game is the level of interactivity that we have. We have this world of mystery where anything could potentially hide a secret. The more you look, the more you'll discover.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
I want to thank you all for joining us for our big reveal of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Machine Games is known for creating these roller coaster experiences with huge set pieces, surprising twists, and immersive narratives. It's exciting for us that we have been able to stay so true to the Indiana Jones franchise and create such an authentic experience while still being able to showcase what makes us us. We are making a game for everyone, whether you are very familiar with the franchise or not. Because at the heart of Indiana Jones is an incredible adventure, and I think that's something everyone wants to be part of. I'm also very excited to announce that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be coming later this year. And I cannot wait
Got
to
the
share
confirmation.
more soon.
I see Ty Howard in the background. Look
Yeah,
at this man.
I just called him back there and snatched the golden idol.
Oh, he is definitely a big fan of Indiana Jones.
what would be cool if they did some callbacks to that Atari games or some of the puzzles.
Please don't. I mean, I guess you could include the Atari game itself.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, redo the puzzles that were in the old game that were so cryptic back then.
Oh, okay.
Indiana Jones and the Golden Quesarito.
Hold on now. Don't get me excited. I like quesarito.
So we got the sizzle reel loaded up.
Okay. Yeah, 5 and even snuck one in on there, man.
Is it animals, children, and game developers?
I'll Our mission here at Ninja Theory
This was
is
solid
to craft
so far.
life-changing art
Yeah.
with game-changing
I think this
tech.
is it.
Core to the vision of
Oh,
Aura
yeah.
is our philosophy of rule how you want to
I do want to check out that Elder Scrolls trailer because that aired like right after this stuff.
Okay. You know I'm down. I played the MMO for a long time.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to check it out since I wanted to get your input on it.
You aren't just playing as Indy, you are Indiana Jones.
My name is Masaru Oyamada. 今作はアクション RPG 聖剣伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。
I had a weird thought when I saw that. I was like, man, that man really is hardcore. That man learned English for that one sentence just to get that out. That's hardcore, man. I respect it.
Developer Direct 24. 16 times the detail.
Gold Road. That sounds cool.
Motaro.
Man said Motaro. They actually do this every year around this time. Yep, they announce the next expansion. They have a yearly expansion, so start of the year they always announce it. Which is crazy when you think about it. Usually most MMOs do at least 2 to 3 years between the expansion. Yeah.
Kind of low, Sage.
Yeah, volume went down. You were low.
Is it better? Can y'all hear
Much
me?
better.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. I said they was trying to do that Lord of the Rings type thing with the music for a little bit.
Yeah.
Shao Kahn said what they doing down
I ain't gonna lie, this is kind of funny. They doing all this sneaking around, and he just kind of looking at them like, I'm about to miss y'all.
What are you doing?
That's Motaro. This man got the same purple television.
Bro said, y'all playing games. I serve Molar. Ball. The villain of villains.
What the heck? I think he won.
That didn't look positive.
It don't look positive. Yeah, whatever he wanted, I think he got it.
Uh-oh. Gold Road.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised they didn't make a crossover with Magic with Elder Scrolls instead of Fallout.
Just to get you a little bit of variety. Okay, they even got a date to this. Okay, so that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, usually around the summers when the expansions come out. They pretty much do it exactly the same time every year.
Tim said, I heard
So not surprised.
Molag Ball.
Or what? Oh, the name of the villain, I guess.
I said Molar Ball. Me and Tim always have this joke about like, it's like everything in Elder Scrolls, when they come down to the evil shit, it always go back to at some point Molar Ball. It was like this Daedric prince of evil in another division who just caused all types of mischief. Everything always goes back to him at some point.
Okay, so let's I want to take the temperature again. Like, what did y'all think of the developer direct? Like, Devin, what'd you think?
I mean, I think for the very beginning of the year, this is a nice little just tidbit of what I feel like Xbox has in store. Finally got to see a good bit more on Valve, because that's one game that I was just hyped to kind of see how it would shape up, how it would play. It's definitely got that that Elder Scrolls vibe to it. The magic with the combat looks pretty interesting. The world that they're building looks pretty interesting. Of course, definitely the two things that really caught my attention from this was, again, Hellblade 2. That looks like it's forming up to be pretty nice. And surprising to see they had Visions of Mana here. So first time that the Trails game will be on Xbox, so that'll be cool. Hopefully it comes to Game Pass, but if not, I'm probably still gonna play it anyway. It looks pretty good. Just those type of games just aren't my thing, so I still paid attention to it, but it's just I know I'm not gonna play those types of games. So, but for the people that's for, I'm sure they will enjoy those. And Indiana Jones looks interesting. Looks pretty solid. Me personally, I feel like I probably would have made it a third person, but they did give reasons of why they made it a first person. That's kind of their wheelhouse. Kind of immerse you into being Indiana Jones. I think it still works for the most part. Looks like something that I would just like to try out to see how it plays, especially if it has an emphasis on puzzles. Cause I love puzzles in games, so I would assume with a game like Indiana Jones, you got to make sure the puzzles are there, and it looks like they're doing their due diligence to make that the reality. So just pretty interesting things there. Not a lot, but just to kind of wet your beak for the beginning of the year. So I think it's pretty cool, man. If I had to give it just a rating or something, I'd probably give it a B minus.
Okay. What about you, Rakeem?
I feel like this direct did exactly what it needed to do. Apparently, most of these games are coming out either within this year. If they're not this year, they'll probably be close to early next year.
No.
At the
Everything
latest.
here is
everything's this year.
Unless something gets delayed.
Yeah. So this made sense to kind of give a snippet of what they have coming this year, which is kind of a nice change of pace to, a lot of, we see these conferences, we'll see these games and I'll have coming soon, and we won't see them for 2-3 years. We've talked about Wonder Woman so many times, how long we've waited for that. I kind of like to see something was okay, these games are coming out in a feasible time. We know they're coming out. These are reasonable expectations, so you can start getting hyped for these. These are probably not going to get pushed back any further than they are now. Well, for the most part. I liked what I saw from Avowed. The combat system looked kind of snappy and straightforward. They weren't trying to do too much with it, because it is an open world RPG, and RPG games focus, while the combat needs to be good, the RPG part needs to be the best above all else. So I thought that looked pretty decent. I feel like Avowed is going to be good, but it's something, it's not Obsidian's fault and it's not anybody else's fault. But I feel like you said, the DNA of the old CRPGs and the DNA of the old Elder Scrolls games are still over kind of the open world RPG genre at the moment. And as a fan of this genre, I am kind of ready for what's the next step in a different direction. So it has me interested, but not quite as excited as what we thought Starfield was going to be, bringing a big shift to the genre. And I'm still kind of waiting for that type of experience. Witcher 3 was. Witcher 3 brought a big shift to how action RPGs were portrayed, and it was copied after it came out because it made such a big impact. I'm still kind of waiting for something like that. Yeah,
I think
go ahead.
The shift now is Baldur's Gate 3. I think we'll
probably
see more with the success of Baldur's Gate 3, the sales that we saw on PC, if not on PS5 and Xbox, but I think they both sold well too. I think that is going to cause a lot of developers that do RPGs to be like, wait a minute, you mean we can go back to doing that old style of isometric type games and get the same kind of sales or better? And I feel like a lot of people are going to try to go back to that and introduce the same level of interactability with the world and the different ways that quests can play out, where you can, it's so many different things and so many different ways to solve it. And that may be, for a while, at least for right now, the evolution. It may not be what we want, but that might be where things are heading for right now.
Okay, I can see. I kind of can see that direction as well. Everything else with Direct, Visions of Mana looks so good. Just visually, it immediately catches your attention. Combat looks really fluid and well thought out. I was always, even though I never played a lot of Mana games, and the ones I did play, I may have played them through less than legal means, but as a emulators as a kid. But I've always enjoyed the art style, the vibe. It has a different feel to it, kind of how Dragon Quest is, like more lighthearted, more enrapturous, more I don't want to say fluffy, but it feels good when you're playing a Mana game. It feels more, it doesn't feel like all dark and broody as like we feel from. Yeah, it feels comfy compared to like a FromSoft game, obviously, where it's basically you're playing a Greek tragedy in game form. This is a completely different experience, and I've kind of missed this, so I'm happy to see this kind of game come back, and I hope it does really well, and we keep seeing these games. The 4X game, I'm not gonna even talk about that because I'm not going to play it. I hope people who play it and enjoy the type of game, Godspeed. Real talk though, from Direct, Hellblade looks to be, me personally, like the most, like it just feels like the most fully fleshed out, like crisp, polished, ready to go game. Like that game, like they put their heart and soul into it. I think that game is going to knock it out the park. Personally, I think it impressed me the most visually. The sound design, I can even tell by the people working on like how freaking interesting. Like the director was leaning in, like, "Oh yeah, y'all ain't ready for this shit. Y'all ain't ready, man." She look at her, she's like, "Y'all ain't ready for this. You think you're ready?" She lean in, "You think you're ready, but you ain't ready for this." She leaned in like she was Dean Ambrose, ready to cut a promo, man. This game, yeah. That's the type of feel I got from that. I think this game's gonna kick ass. I know Terrence, our other member of No Level Cap, is very excited for this game. He played the first game. I think this game's gonna rule. This is probably, to me personally, it's not the game I'm most interested in, but I think it was the best presentation that I saw. And then finally, Indiana Jones. Heck, I love Indiana Jones. Who doesn't love Indiana Jones? I think it, even though first person might not be what everyone wants, as a part of me was like, you know what? You got to stand out from Uncharted and Tomb Raider in some way, because they got 20 years on you at this point in game form, especially Tomb Raider. And then like a lot of innovations happened there. And then maybe the first person experience with the puzzle solving and the combat, especially with how Indiana Jones fights with the whip, that's very unique. You don't really get that in a lot of first person games. So I am interested to see how that goes. It seems to be very faithful to how the movies went and the pacing of that. And I think people who are actually Indiana Jones fans will get a lot of references and a lot of, the feeling and the mood of the music and tone seems to be spot on. And I think it's going to be a great homage to those old movies. So I think that's going to be a pretty positive experience. And if I had a chance to, I'd like to play that just to try it out, because I did enjoy those old movies when I was a kid. Not the new movies so much. They can keep those. Shout out to Harrison Ford, you my dog, but they can keep those. But the old ones, yeah. But overall, I think I'm gonna give it like a A-. I actually really liked it because it was concise, to the point, direct. There was no big egregious thing here. Nothing really overstayed its welcome. Everything kind of went in and out. They even had a surprise, in there with Visions of Mana. I think this is the type of thing I want to see from Xbox. I think they need to curtail expectations and give you, exactly what you want to see, because they had so many delays like in the previous year. And after having so many delays, at this point, you want to tell your fans like, hey, you still can trust us. We are putting out these games. We have confidence in these games. They're going to come out in a good quality. So here we got for the rest of the year. I think this was solid. I'm gonna give it an A-. Actually, I think I really liked it. So yeah, that's my opinion on it.
I kind of fall in line with you guys. I'm definitely going to go with A- as far as it's, under an hour. So it's not a lot of fluff there. It's 5 games. You get a kind of a deep dive into all 5 games. I like that. I do think that I might have a different view on it than y'all. I think this is their slate for 2024. I don't think you're going to get too many more games, if any other games. I think this is probably the whole of their 2024. I think that's cool. I think the start of the year, like January, it's still cold. We're focused on old game, like the games from last year, but we're at this point in the year, we're already kind of transitioning away and trying to look toward what the future is going to be. And this is like their future for 2024. And I think that's where you should put your, okay, these are you know, this is what we have on offer this year. And then in June, when you do the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase, you can do looking further to like the following year. And so like I think the developer direct should stick to this is the next 12 months, and then the Xbox Game Showcase should be like this is the next 18 to 20 months or something like that. You get to see into the next fall. And I think that that's a good way to set things up. Quite frankly, I wish that Nintendo and Sony did the same thing. Don't leave us in the dark. Just go ahead and let us know, like, all the way in January or February, like, look, this is what you're going to be playing. We're probably not going to, like, don't expect a whole bunch of surprises. You know, if it is a surprise, it's like a small shadow drop or maybe something like a Hi-Fi Rush. Speaking of, I do like, they didn't have a Hi-Fi Rush this time, but what they did have was Indiana Jones. And I know that's not the same thing, but it is in this respect. Both times it gave you something where you're like, I need to make sure that I'm watching this so that I know, like, okay, like last time it was a shadow drop major game from Tango Gameworks where you're like, oh, that looks really cool. And you say that got shadow dropped where? And then this time it's like, oh, a first look at Indiana Jones. Like, that's letting you know this is something you need to tune into. They had another show, what was it, Inside Xbox, and that was always kind of mid. It very rarely ever had anything that was kind of important. This is not that. This was very important. This was, hey, you know, this is what, like, you've been wanting to get a deeper look at Avowed. We've got it. You wanted to look at what Indiana Jones looks like. We announced it like 4 years ago. Here it is. That's how this should be. As far as the games themselves, I mean, like, there's not much that I would want personally. What we've got on screen right now is pretty much the only thing that I want. Visions of Mana. I am a big JRPG fan. Of course, we all are. That's the thing that stands out to me. I do hope that it comes out prior to Trails Through Daybreak so that I can make time for it. If it's going to be a summer game, you know, like maybe May or June, that would be a great spot for it. Because I have this feeling that Daybreak comes out in July, just like Reverie did. And so, like, I would want to have time to make time, like carve out a whole month where I could play through this fantastical world. I love how Visions of Mana looks. I love the elemental spells that they were using. It looks like a fun world to explore. I dig the vibes. I dug the vibes back when they announced it at the Game Awards, so I'm really glad that they're following up. They're not letting you wait too long to tell you more about this game.
Yeah.
Hopefully they come back to it again in the near future. Hellblade, it looks really good. Obviously, it's not my thing. I think if we could put an order to the things that are very much not Sage, the first thing would be first person. The second thing would be horror, and the third thing would be dystopia. And, you know, like, Xbox definitely hit two of them in this bitch. But I will say this. It does concern me a little bit. I've seen some of the reactions. I looked around, see some of the reactions to the developer direct before the show, and I saw a bunch of people saying Avowed looked kind of old. And I'm like, well, kind of. But I don't think it looks bad. And it's concerning to me that people are like, oh, I wish this game was prettier.
There's the other party member.
Oh,
they snuck him in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed the person with the lightning.
Right. Okay. I like that.
Yeah, there you go. I see.
Okay.
Yeah. They're so tiny.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that. But yeah, I think I'm a little concerned that Avowed, people are like so disappointed with the visuals. I'm like, Avowed is probably a lot more expensive than you think. Avowed probably costs quite a bit of money. You know, Yakuza cost $30 million to make, $30 to $40 million to make. And so this Avowed probably costs $100 million. I can easily see that. And so for people to be like, oh, I wish this game was more expensive, I'm like, man, you don't know what you're asking for, because Avowed seems like it's going to be a boxed release. Well, not necessarily boxed, but like a single release where they put the game out. Maybe you get a DLC, but there's no whole bunch of like side bullshit DLC. It's just like maybe one media expansion, and that's it. And that's what people want, or what they say they want. But then you ask for these games to look like Hellblade, and Hellblade's going to be like a 6 to 8 hour game, and Avowed is probably going to be like a big, meaty 30 to 40 hour RPG. And it's like, well, to keep that level of fidelity across 30 to 40 hours with all the different things that Avowed is trying to do, is going to make that game way more expensive. And then suddenly they're throwing all this shit at you don't want. All this extra DLC, all this extra content, season pass, all that bullshit. And it's like, I think I really want gamers to think about what you're asking before you just go off saying like, this isn't pretty enough or this doesn't look good enough. Because like, I thought it looked fine. It looked good enough, right? And I mean, like, I understand, you know, oh, it's $70. Like, man, you can wait till it's $60 if you want. but like we've gotta learn how to put like a little bit of a cap on our expectations because it's getting out of hand. Because that game does look fine. Indiana Jones does look really good. It looks about as good. And me and Keem talked about this before the show, before he had seen it. I hope that we're entering the era of just like good licensed property games. You know, you've got Indiana Jones, and that looks good. And then you've got Project 007 coming out soon, or potentially coming out next year. You've got the Iron Man game, the Black Panther game, all these different.
The Blade game.
The Blade game, the Wonder Woman game, the Star Wars games now. And it seems, hopefully, that they're all going to be quality experiences. And look, I understand it always has to be one stinker, but like I named a bunch of hits, so we're not going to do that. We're not going to get dragged into what probably. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I still think Suicide Squad stands a chance at hitting like low 80s. And even if it doesn't hit low 80s, it stands a chance of selling really well just because, like, I know what people want. I know there's a significant contingent of people, and this is getting off topic, but I know there's a significant contingent of people that just want to play games with their friends and shoot shit. So
absolutely,
like that game.
There's a huge market for that.
Right. So even if it's not a great game, that game still might sell well. But yeah, I feel like maybe we're getting into this era of like quality adaptations, and you know, hopefully Indiana Jones is one of them. It's such a beloved franchise, such a beloved character, and this is probably going to be your best chance of getting, you know, Keem, while we were watching, talked about a reboot, and the danger of a reboot is that you'd lose Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Unless you want, you know, AI euthanized. Euthanized, that's not really the word I wanted to use. He's not dead, guys. Just relax.
De-aged.
De-aged. Thank you, Keem. Thank you. You know, that's the only way you're going to get him de-aged, and it doesn't make you think of like gross AI comparisons. So, I mean, maybe, you know, we get Indiana Jones in video game form for a decade or something like that. And it does give Machine Games something else to work on outside of Wolfenstein. They've been doing it for so long, and the first two were really well received, and then they did that weird 2.5 that they had.
Oh, yeah. Youngblood.
Very
people
poorly.
Hated that game.
Yeah, it was so sad because like they were kind of the face of last gen as far as like new games coming out that were like really well received, really beautiful next gen graphics. Like a lot of teams were still doing like cross gen games at the time, and they put out which was the first Wolfenstein?
Was it New Colossus?
I think it might have been a New Colossus.
I think so.
Yeah, they put out Wolfenstein New Colossus, and that was the first game that was like, you know, good graphics, next gen for everybody, and people really fucked with it. And, you know, Youngblood kind of like diminished their star a little bit. And I'm hoping that this brings them back to prominence.
Man, speaking of that, I kind of missed that era. And you might not know about this, but well, you probably know about, but Devin would definitely know about this. The era of first-person shooters that had nothing to do with COD, that were like narrative-driven. There was like a big space for those that had like really creative ideas. There were a lot of different games. They would play around with like gravity and time and narrative stuff and all types of shit. And that shit just died and just went to COD.
Yeah, because everybody
it all just became COD. But it was like a lot of cool first-person shooter games that were like trying a lot of different things. It was like almost like JRPG boom we had in the 90s where people were just trying a whole bunch of different ideas with the genre. And I wish we had more of that again.
Well, I mean, you know, they're clearly trying to do at least a little bit more with Indiana Jones, and hopefully you see some more like different creative ideas as far in the first person space, because they do seem to be more interested in working in that for right now. It is interesting how Sony has gotten a reputation for being all third person games with like the close camera in the background and shit. And now it's looking like Microsoft is slowly trying to build up a
first person.
Like the first person studio. Like we got the first person fantasy games, we got the first person, you know, Indiana Jones, we've got all this other stuff. They're gonna have COD. It's gonna be they have Halo still. It's gonna be interesting. The one thing the one thing I'll say about Hellblade that I saw, it kind of gave off Plague's Tale Requiem vibes. I don't know if anybody else.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, it did.
I was like, oh, okay. I see y'all. And much like Plague's Tale Requiem, it was like very introspective, exploring mental health, and then like also just beautiful at spots, because there were some spots where they were exploring parts of the Hellblade environment that were just really pretty when it wasn't like the dark caverns and like whatever, like looking into Senua's mind and stuff like that. there were parts that were really beautiful, and Plague Tale had parts that were really gorgeous, so gorgeous that occasionally I was like, should I play this game because it's pretty as fuck.
I actually got the game. We got the game this month on PS Plus, so I actually picked it up.
Oh, okay.
I think it was
Well,
on
let me
Epic
know
too
how it
for
is.
Christmas.
You said it was what?
I think it was on Epic for Christmas.
It's like a free game?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wait, Requiem or Innocence, the first one?
One of them. I thought it was the new one, but
It was Requiem. I got Requiem.
Well, he talking about on Epic game because they had the free game every day. You talking about that right there?
yeah.
Huh. I definitely missed it because I would have downloaded it just in case. Well, not download it, but at least like put it in my account just in case. But you never know. One last thing I wanted to ask before we close out. Does this strengthen what you think is going to be at the Xbox? Like, do you feel better going into the summer about the Xbox Game Showcase after watching this? Devin, what do you think?
I think so. Like I said, I the way I see this is just like a little primer, and maybe like once we get later into the year, they'll kind of show more. So, like I said, this is just it's the beginning of the year. They're not gonna really just be like, we just dumping all this on you. This felt like you said, it wasn't like really long. They spent a good amount of time on each game, and maybe we just get more of this when the showcase comes later on. Because I definitely feel better about this than what we did last year. Because last year I just was kind of like tuned out. I think all I remember was like Forza and Starfield. So I don't have that feeling this time.
They had Forza, they had Starfield, they had was it Age of Empire last year? I know they had Minecraft Dungeons last year and Redfall. And actually Starfield was not at last year's Developer Direct. It was Redfall and what was the other game you said? Forza, Redfall, and Hi-Fi Rush I think was there.
Yeah.
And then Minecraft Dungeons, and then maybe one other game. So it was like 5 games just like this time. So Rakeem, what about you, man? Do you feel like stronger like about the Xbox Game Showcase going into this after this?
Yeah. But I mean, if this is mostly what they have to offer for the year, I think this is pretty solid. I do like the fact that they're having confidence to have these games, announced like, hey, these are the games we have this year. So when I see more confidence from developers, it gives me a stronger feeling that they have a direction for the year and moving forward. So I think it does give me positive vibes going into the showcase later in the year. And hopefully we'll get to see some things coming at, maybe the beginning of next year as well.
Yeah, I do, because I remember Xbox Games Showcase, like, not last year, but the year before that, like 2 years ago. They did this weird thing that they did effectively what's being done here, where they were like, everything we're showing you is in the next 12 months. And that was just not a good idea, because it was like, well, we're already halfway through the year. I really only want to know what's coming out. Like, if you're going to show me what's coming out this fall and you've got a big fall slate, that's cool. Other than that, I would want more than just the first 6 months of next year, because you may not have nothing coming in the first 6 months of next year. Because a lot of times, some companies are just slower. They don't have very much. I am more encouraged. It does make me think about some of the games that were not here that, of course, aren't coming out this year. Like Contraband, probably not coming out this year. The game from Avalanche, the people that do Just Cause. We still don't know what that game is entirely. I know it's like a 4-player single player and co-op type game where you commit heists and stuff in like the 1970s, but like there's a lot of leeway in what that game could look like and what it could play like. South of Midnight, the game that we all really vibed with, we haven't seen anything else of that, and I assume that we see that again. What was that? Clockwork Revolution?
Definitely want to see more. Yeah. The kind of BioShock vibe game.
Right, that game that had a lot of potential. We haven't seen anything of that. Of course, we don't know anything about what their plans are as far as what they have going for Activision, Call of Duty, all that stuff. That's not necessarily our bag, but I am interested in seeing how they approach that going forward, just from a standpoint of the gaming industry and how that plays out for gaming.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's other Bethesda projects. There's some other Blizzard projects that they need to be getting to talking about. And that's all without talking about what third-person stuff they might have. Partnerships and things like that, because I mean, like it's very interesting. After seeing this though, I'm pretty encouraged for Microsoft, and I'm like, y'all might be in a good spot. And so now it's making me think like, hey, Sony, what's really good? Because like Xbox got a lot of games that are their games. Sony right now, it's like they stealing games. It's like, hey man, we got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You're not even supposed to have that. That's been multiplayer, that multi-platform for years, and now you just money had it your way into getting it back on your console. And I'm like, hey man, that's not you. Like if you want to pay for a franchise, like you want to pay for a new IP, I'll let Rise of the Ronin off the hook. That may not have existed without a check from Sony. But like Final Fantasy VII, Square was gonna make that either way. And like to have that restricted to just one console, one platform, I'm not with that. And I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna need y'all to come out with some actual games of your own that you're not relying on somebody else and be like, hey man, I know that this is normally supposed to be multi-platform, but what if we took it and made it ours for like 6 months to a year? Fuck all that. So
yeah, we had it first anyway. FF7, did they be with us? You know,
it's been
20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. for over a decade now. They got to get it together. And I mean, I hope. I mean, Nintendo. If the next Switch is coming out this year, Nintendo's probably good because they probably got a whole slate of games that they've got prepared to show off in the fall or like in the summer and shit. So that should be interesting. So this is a very good time for video games.
Man, is it?
I mean, like it's
good
crazy.
time for
like,
me.
Facts.
Hey,
well, what's up, Devin?
Nah, just like I said, like we talked about the Game Awards and stuff. Like 2023 just spilled off into 2024, man.
There's
Especially
so
for
many
the beginning,
games.
and especially for our JRPGs.
Man, I'm swamped, and I don't see myself swimming out anytime soon. But I'm cool with it. All right, I think that's going to wrap our reaction up for the Xbox Developer Direct. We hope you enjoyed the show. How do you feel about some of the moves Xbox is making? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you guys on the next stream. See you next time.
Take it easy.
16.
Because I'm in these